Welcome to another edition of the Will Be Blood Fight Show. I'm your host, Dave Duenas. What's going on, guys? It's raining like crazy over here up in Cali, man, where I live at. So, it's a little chilly. Everybody's in-house right now, just relaxing. I want to do a couple of shout-outs to some of my folks out there. Blood Boxing, my boy Blood. If you haven't checked out his show, go on there and log on to Blood and see what he's got to say. He's got some great things going on, mailbag. He's always informative. I call him the Burt Sugar of the new generation because of the fact that of his history of boxing is just, second to none. Also, Chris 916, who does cover MMA, and he covers boxing, and he's going to be taking over on our MMA department and doing some coverage for us and doing some on-the-phone interviews with some of the MMA fighters that are out there in the world right now. So check him out too, 916. Chris 17 Brandon, another one of my little good buddies and all that, my homie, doing some good things on his show. You got to check him out, really good and stuff. Always very informative, always doing some good things. Rob Riddler doing some great intros, man. I'm feeling the intros. I like the intros. Rob Riddler, very controversial, but always on point. And what he talks about is one of the guys that I really, truly enjoy watching. Budasai, another good guy, gets on there and does his thing and, continues to do his thing, and hopefully he keeps getting bigger and bigger in what he's doing, okay? Like to make a shout out to my boy, Ride or Die from Guard Your Grill. Ride or Die, been chopping it up lately, really nice guy, man, and been enjoying his show, Guard Your Grill. There's 5 cats on there out of Philly, really good guys that get on and they talk boxing and really just have a good time with the sport, make some predictions and whatnot. If you guys haven't checked out Guard Your Grill, gotta log on there and check them out, okay? Who else, man? There's a lot of boxing shows popping up, and if I haven't got to you and talked to you guys, shoot me an email. I'm very open. I'm really easy to talk to and stuff. I talk to everybody first off, so you can always hit me up and say what's up. Odin 422, I believe, right? Odin, my boy Odin. Your numbers in the end, I don't remember, but Odin, I remember your first name, man. Got a picture with James Tony. He's my boy. Had a birthday, so happy belated birthday, brother. I hope everything was well, and I hope everything was good. I hope you had your pound down and stuff like that, and hope to hear from you on the radio show coming up this Thursday. We're gonna have Krista Neimer Oriella. We're gonna have Urbano Antaleon on there too, and possibly Paul Williams. I was able to speak to their management team, and they're going to try to get them on for us on Thursday night. If not, they said definitely after the week of him fighting Winky Wright. So hopefully we'll get them on either way, man. So it'll be fun to have the Punisher Paul Williams to call in, and then you guys get to call in and check it out. It's every Thursday, 5 o'clock West Coast time, 8 o'clock East Coast time, okay? We're trying to get more and more fighters on. If I miss a fighter's name, if that you guys think, that you guys feel that should be on, leave it in the ring with us, shoot me down a name and all that, and I'll try my best to try to get them on the show for us on the next schedule. Leave it in the ring, okay? So let's go into a prediction and what's going to happen in this fight and what I think they need to do in order to secure a victory between Jermain Taylor and Carl Froch. First off, Froch, I know a lot of Americans have not seen a whole lot of him, but if you have, you've seen him on Showtime. Very strong, 168 fighter. Really a guy that's been really chasing after Joe Calzaghe. He's been chasing him down and trying to get a hold of him. Now, if you haven't had a chance to go to the website, www.therewillbebloodfightshow.com, go check it out. I did have a chance to chop it up with both guys on the phone and ask them a few questions along with their promoters, and you got to hear what they got to say about each other and stuff. The conversation between them did get heated. Carl Froch, first off, is a very confident guy. This is a guy that really believes he's the best 168 pounder out there. And really, he thinks that, Jermain Taylor may be a little bit overweight over his head. Well, is he a little bit over his head? I don't think so. This is probably going to be the best guy that Carl Froch is going to face against. Now, what does Jermain Taylor need to do against a strong 168, a confident 168, and a guy that really is going to come in there to try to knock him out, a guy that's going to try to make a statement out of Jermain Taylor to try to lure the other guys at 168 back into him to fight him so he can get those big money fights and he can get the recognition that he's looking and he's craving for among the boxing community? Well, Jermain Taylor, first off, cannot walk himself back to them ropes. Not against a big guy like Carl Froch. There's no way he could do that. And that's something about Jermain Taylor's, traits in his skill-wise that he always does. He walks himself back and he traps himself. He did it with Pavlik, and he did it on the first one and the second one, and he did it with Jeff Lacy. He walked himself back to them ropes, and the only thing was Jeff Lacy wasn't able to step it up in gears to try to knock him out or, keep him there and hold him there so that he could do some internal damage so that it can invest for the later rounds so he can be a possible knockout over Jermain Taylor. Well, with Carl Froch, he can't do that. Now with a prime fighter at 168. Now with a guy that really is looking to hurt you to make a statement at 168. He's going to have to try to keep this fight in the middle of the ring and really establish that jab that has really got him to the point of where he's been in his career. Establish that jab against Carl Froch. The speed is going to be a much more factor for Carl because he has never faced a guy that's really truly been as quick as Jermain Taylor or in skill-wise in Jermain Taylor. Carl Froch has had some good fighters under his resume, but not as the same name of Jermain Taylor. But Jermain Taylor has faced some very tough oppositions. But it being a little bit now, you would have to consider him. This is the funny thing, is that Jermain is a young fighter, okay? Undisputed champion, got it from facing Bernardo Hopkins, and then, then loses it to Kelly Pavlik. Now, still being a young fighter, he's being considered the veteran fighter in this fight, So, the tables have finally turned on him, and so rapidly within the years, within what, 3-4 years. Now he's being considered, the veteran, the older warrior facing Carl Froch. Froch is now being looked at as the young lion coming up into the lion's den to take away the steak that's in the mouth of the older lion. So that's the weird part for this fight here, is that you got two young lions, but one really has the stigma of being a much older lion. Now, Carl Froch, what he needs to do is just be Carl Froch in this fight. He's not the fastest technician in the world, but he's good at what he does. He's got to cut that ring off and really not allow Jermain Taylor to catch any type of rhythm, okay? And really what he's got to do too is, if Jermain does not walk himself back to them ropes, he's got to walk him back to them ropes. He's got to literally show that he's the bigger man and that, you move from 160 to the big boy league. Now, I'm going to let you understand, this is the big boy league. Jeff Lacy was not a true test for you. I'm a true test. So he's got to walk him back and try to break him down with some body shots, come back to the head. And really what he's got to really keep an eye on for is Jermain Taylor's overhand right. Because overhand right is phenomenal. I don't care what anybody says. He can hurt people with that overhand right. He hasn't had great success against, Corey Spinks or, Kasim smaller guys, but when he does land it against a guy that's not going to be that slick, because Carl Froch is not a slick fighter, first off, okay? He'll be there to get hit, so he can land that. But that's one thing that Carl Froch is going to have to change up in his game plan. He's going to have to be a little elusive with Jermain's overhand right, because Jermain will land the overhand right, and when Jermain's in danger, or he feels that, I'm in the mud, I got to get myself out of here, I got to get my feet out of this quicksand, he's going to start to trade with you. Now, that could be either a plus for Carl or a negative for Carl, because the plus could be that Jermain tends to leave himself open, and he'll stay in front of you, he'll square up his shoulders, because that'll give opportunities for Carl Froch to drop his straight right, come back with his left hook, or throw his left hook, come back with a body shot, and have an opportunity to drop Jermain Taylor or hurt him for the later rounds to get that KO over Jermain Taylor. Or it could be a negative where, guess what? He gets caught with a much faster warrior in there, Jermain Taylor, and he gets dropped and he gets hurt. So there's a big plus and and negatives on that, if that tends to be happen. And I believe that's going to happen. Honestly, this is going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be a great coming out party for Carl Froch. Now, where does it lead for these two warriors? What is the prediction of who's going to take it? Well, if I had to lean, and what I am going to be leaning toward is against Carl Froch. I think right now that Carl Froch is just too hungry, too strong. Even though he's a slow warrior, he's not the quickest guy at 168, but we've seen what the quickest people can do. When they're much bigger and they can take a shot and they can take a hit. I mean, they can give a hit. What they can do, they can wear down the other guy who's going to be using their legs a little bit more, which I think Jermain Taylor is going to do, is use his legs a little bit more, and being a little bit more heavy set, that could take a big toll on his legs because of the fact that he's not really a true 168 at this moment yet. He's still testing out the waters at 168, and testing it with a Carl Froch may be a little bit too much of a big step for himself, even though he's faced some of the big oppositions out there in his career. But Carl Froch is a big boy, and I'm just looking to see Carl Froch really to take it to him. It's going to be an all-out war between these warriors and stuff, but I kind of see that Carl Froch may be able to take it and knock him out and take out Jermain Taylor, and then now move on with his career. That's my opinion. That's my prediction. This is your host, Dave Duenas. Once again, I know everybody's hitting me up on the hand Pacquiao. I'm going to have it up and all that. I'm going to do our prediction about it today. So, but first, check this one out. I'm your host, Dave Duens. This is ThereWillBeBloodFightShow.com.
There's a storm on the line.
You know, if you're gonna leave it,
Oh my God, this guy's got.
the worst thing to do is leave it to the judges. You know, if you're gonna leave it, the worst thing is to leave it to the judges. You gotta leave it in the ring.
From Sacramento.
You know, if you're gonna leave it,
Timothy Bradley a question.
you know, if you're gonna leave it,
What fighter out there do you look at and you go, I can't believe he's on top?
you know, if you're gonna leave it.
I don't see any fighters out there that's on top of garbage. That's kind of like a trick question, man. That's like a trick question. I think all the fighters that are out there
You know,
on
if
top
you're gonna leave it.